Located in the same space City TV once was in the 80s, everything on Carbon Bar's menu is grilled, charred, or smoked to perfection. Trust me, this is delicious. Please welcome now Chef Hida Zomer here to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And bringing this delicious platter. Now, we're talking about City TV being in that building at 99 Queen Street East, way back when. And so you've kept a couple of mementos, let's say, throughout the restaurant.
It's a very historic past, and the restaurant has a lot of history to it.
Right.
So CTV used to be there for a bit as their studio, and Electric Circus used to be a nightclub that was there located, their second location from New York.
Right.
And then CTV bought the whole brand of Electric Circus and made it into the show that it became. So we have our electric sign in above the chef table,
which is very
cool. Open kitchen. Yeah.
So you see that there. There's a little history there as well, but you'll be so like nose deep into ribs that you might not even see it because it's delicious. Yeah. So tell me about the ribs. You smoke these for how long?
So we have a big smoker at the restaurant. We are an American bistro that does have a love and passion for Southern fare. So we have a big smoker. These ribs have been smoked for about 3 hours. So they, compared to brisket, they don't take that much smoke on. Right? It's relatively short time. We smoke our ribs over white oak. So I'm just going to cut these ribs. We like the white oak because it just has this really nice lingering smoke. And then when you cut the ribs, I like to cut the ribs just with the bones facing up, so you can really easily see where the bones is located. Oh, right.
And they fall off the bone, as you can see, super easy.
It still has a little bit of pull to it. You want the ribs, you can see that here too. You want them to have a little bit of pull. So what that means is if it's off the bone, it's just going to be very mushy. But if it's you want it to be still a little bit texture. So we just place these ribs here. And this is our pitmaster platter. So
and this is one of the #1 sellers, right?
Absolutely.
You get a bit of everything on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So just place those up. And we just use a little dry rub on the ribs. That's like salt, pepper, smoked paprika, a little bit of chili. Yeah, go for it. Or just take the little one. Yeah, that's good. Right, and we're just adding a little bit of mop there too. Just, the mop has a little bit of acidity, and spice, a little honey, a little vinegar.
And you make your own barbecue sauce as well.
Yeah, we do. We have a sour barbecue sauce, which go really well. It's like a more sweet and spicy, little ketchup spices. And that goes really well with the ribs and the fried chicken.
Okay,
so that's our buttermilk fried chicken.
Right, and over here you would place the brisket.
Exactly. So this is our pitmaster platter, right? So we get a bit of everything. I'm just going to slide that over. So this is the brisket. That's the USDA prime beef brisket that's been smoked for about 10 hours.
Okay, so this takes 3, but you're really concentrating on this, getting this nice and tender.
Right, and then basically the brisket.
People are already out there like going, I hear you.
The brisket is an interesting muscle, right? It basically comes off the chest of a cow. It has the 2 muscle groups. Basically, you have the flat and the point. We're just going to cut that up so I can show you the difference on it.
Look how easy that was.
So that's tender, right? So the point is more considered like where the burn ends. So that's the burn ends right there.
Yeah.
And you're going to cut that up as well.
It smells so good.
And then basically, you can feel how tender that is. It's almost like a ribeye, right? It's just very, very tender. And we're just going to slice it up. You can see a beautiful smoke ring. And again, like if you overcook it, if you really overcook it, it will fall apart. So the trick is here, it's like cooking the brisket just to perfection, right? It's just melt in your mouth.
It's all about timing, but you
get
it right.
Oh yeah, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of patience, understanding the fire in your smoker, the temperatures, and that's basically the burn ends right there. Right? It has a lot of bark on it, and the bark is what happens in the smoker, right? Over those time, you can see that beautiful kind of like dark color. Or it almost looks burnt, but it is actually the smoke collecting to the meat.
Okay.
It's just packed with flavor.
And you have as well, you have tons of side dishes. You got the cornbread, like a lot of good Southern cooking as well.
Exactly, lots of soul food here. So we have our cornbread, which is like aged cheddar. We have collard greens. You know, it's good to have some acidic dishes too. It pairs really well with the rich brisket. So we have like coleslaw, creamy coleslaw with crushed corn nuts. Our house dill pickles. You know, we serve a nice rich mac and cheese, and you can just see how stringy that is. Right?
And I'm checking out the dessert as well. So this is special. So we're going to do something with this. This is a pecan pie. Tell me a little bit about this because we have some liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen, I brought some too, yeah. So this is a fun dessert, and it's a great way to finish off a meal. So we have our Kentucky pecan pie, which has bourbon in it, pecans, and it's very beautiful pie crust.
And what do
then
we
it's
do
kind of
with
a hot
that?
and cold sensation. So what we came up with is like, why don't we just serve the really cold cream, but we lace the cream with bourbon.
Okay.
So there's,
Hey, that sounds good.
And then the idea is like you can pour a little bit of liquid nitrogen just before we send it out to the guest.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So I'm going
just
to pour this
slowly.
on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you
Ready?
got it.
And
Keep pouring. There we go.
Oh,
and what happens is it creates a really cold crust right on the outside of the cream.
Yeah.
So when you spoon into it, and that's kind of like, yeah, that's good. That's a fair amount.
sorry. It's fun.
Exactly. So you get that really cold sensation with that nice warm pecan pie.
Yeah.
All right. So again, like we take classics.
Yeah.
And then try to give it a twist.
Give it a little twist.
And I think we're known for that, you know, at the restaurant for sure.
Excellent.
You know,
Okay,
so-
you guys have to check this out. Of course, Carbon Bar at 99 Queen Street East. You can visit thecarbonbar.ca as well. Delicious. We're heading to break here on Breakfast Television. More BT when we come back. Stay with us. Now I can.